Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing a overview of Power Rangers Cosplay. So before I go ahead and get into this video, if you guys want to check out my individual thoughts on each and every episode, you guys should go ahead and click the playlist right here where it'll take you to all my cosplay reviews up to this point. So, having all that being said, let's go ahead and do an overview into Power Rangers Cosplay. So, I am going to be starting off by talking about the story slash plot. Okay, so Power Rangers Cosplay opens up at a planet called Zordia, where there's a whole bunch of fighting going on between the Rangers and a whole bunch of different villains, and also the Morphin Master. And those are not the only people there. We also see Billy is there from Mighty Morphin, and we also see Mechanic is there too. So it's actually pretty cool to see them back as well. And the reason why they're there, they're basically him and Mick is on a research trip. So as the Rangers are battling, Lord Zed overlooks on the battle that's going on right now, and he's being offered new drinks by some new villains. So we get introduced to Villian there, and Squilly on there. So it is revealed in this episode that Bajilia freed Lord Zed from the crystal. Somehow that doesn't really get explained how she did it, but she did. So Bajilia is basically operating the whole, like funding the whole operation, and she also gives the grunts of the scene the Sentinels, and also massive ships called Squid Drills. So during the mix of all this, Lord Zed makes Ollie evil again, and then after that, Ollie basically uses a cosmic Dino Key and uses it to kick Zato into the portal, and now he's basically gone. As a part of the plan, Scrozzle, who returned from Dino Fury, captures the Morphin Masters with a machine called the Master Captivator. But right before the Red Morphin Master gets captured, he throws his staff down to Hobby and basically gives him a message that you know where to go. So they all teleport away to a altar, and you can see so much lightning is getting absorbed into the altar. And then you have Billy saying he's very dangerous. So the Rangers basically notice on the altar, you can see the pictures of Zords that become into a Megazord. Something that Billy basically confirms because where they got the Shogun Zords back in season 3 of Mighty Morphin. Love to see that reference because I completely forgot about it. Then you see Evil Ollie piloting a squid, finds them, and then Hobby basically ignores what Billy says because they don't have any Zords. If that altar gets destroyed, that means they won't have any Zords to battle with. So he sticks the staff into the altar, and then Lightning basically throws him back, and after that, he basically realizes he loses his arm. And I will say that is actually pretty dark for a Power Rangers show. And then basically we see Hobby go into shock, and then Mick basically teleports him back to base. Now the other Rangers, Amelia, Izzy, Ion, and Billy, basically morph into action.
It's time! Dino Fury Key! Activate! Link to Morphin Zed! Triceratops!
And pilot the new Cosmic Fury Zords. So we basically learned that the Cosmic Fury Zords can be autopilot them, not one Ranger needs to pilot each Zord. And we also learned that any Ranger can pilot any color Zord. It doesn't matter what color they are, they can pilot any Zord. They quickly formed a Cosmic Fury Megazord to take the Squid Drill. Right before Amelia teleports onto the Squid Drill and basically gets Ollie out by using a snooze Dino Key that we saw back in Dino Fury and put him to sleep and teleport him away. Then on a separate Squid Drill, Lord Zed is basically a form of the new Cosmic Fury Zords, and basically he says that he has to destroy the Dino Fury Rangers before they get in the way of his plans. Back in the Dino Fury base, we see the Rangers, Mick, Tarek, Pop-Pop are all arguing about what to do, and we see Solon gets them to be quiet. It's cool to see Tarek there, but I'm curious why Pop-Up's there, but it doesn't matter. He's a cool character. In the next room, we see Billy and Ollie's mom, Dr. Arcana, aka Lonnie, checking on Hobby and Ollie. They make a plan to give Hobby a new robotic arm and recreate the antidote that they used to turn Ollie good again back in Dino Fury. And that's basically where the first episode ends. So that's basically it for episode 1. For the next for everything else, I'm just going to be spot out what's important to the plot. So in episode 2, Javi is getting used to his new robotic arm. We see Izzy and Ranger is out warning authorities of that there may be a possible invasion. And by authorities, I mean Izzy and Javi's dad, Warden Garcia. and her dad does not know their secret identities. And we also see Jane and Jake board there as well. They are toned down here than they was in Dino Fury. Then we see Izzy leave and reconnect with her girlfriend Fern. And they also talk about balancing college and saving the world. Meanwhile, we see that the antidote does not work on Ollie. And he's just going to be evil for basically the most of the season. So then they come up with another possible solution to cure him. So they plan on using his Dino Hand statue. Meanwhile, we see that Zed is planning to target those Dino Hand statues because he knows that they're the link to their powers. Once he destroys the statues, the Rangers will lose their powers. And we see Izzy get called back and promise to meet Fern later. And then we see she sets up an energy like a force field around the thing so nobody can see what's going on. While everybody else basically initiate their plan to cure Ollie. We see the Sentinels come in while Billy and Ion is holding them off. We see Fern comes and Hobby basically goes and saves her and brings her back to base. Then we see Ollie breaks out and fights Amelia. Then we see Hobby and Amelia was able to get Ollie outside, and then they try to use the Dino Hand and statues, and it did not work. Lord Zed basically shows up and comes and destroys all the Dino Hand statues except Ollie's. Ollie played for Lord Zed to let him keep his Dino statue, let him be his servant. And then he intends to finish off the Rangers, but the Rangers teleport back into the base and then hit that red baby break button and they teleport to another planet. So in episode 3, we see basically the Rangers stranded in a planet that is far on the other side of the universe, but they're able to get some type of communication by using the antennas that they used back in Dino Fury. And then we see Ollie basically went to go trick his mom, pretending that that the thing worked and he's good again. Ollie's mom basically gets a message from Mix saying where Zato is, and then Ollie basically takes the laptop and basically tricked his mom. Later on, we find out that Billy managed to use the Red Morphin Master Staff to basically reconnect the Rangers to the Morphin Grid and make them new Cosmic Fury powered. Plus, a color change. Amelia is now the Red Ranger instead of the Pink Ranger. In episode 4, we see the Rangers go to a forest planet and they run into Mick and Ollie. They fight off Ollie. And after Ollie left, Mick reveals that he found pieces of Zato's cape. And then they find an impact crater with a bunch of broken weapons from Zato. Then they find out on this planet that all the plants are basically one human being. So basically the planet is alive. And they get trapped in some vine. Then Ion and Amelia basically use their mind reading power since they're Raccoonian to basically tell the planet that they're not the bad guys, that the Sentinels are the bad guys. So Ion basically finds Zato, and basically the planet basically tells Zato to enjoy the time he has left. So episode 5, the Rangers basically infiltrate a mine dressed as monsters, and they have to pose as a rock band to distract the monsters so Zato can use his staff to wake up the Dragonzord. Ollie managed to get a tracking device on Dragonzord, and Terry reveals that he has a spot. In episode 6, Fern has not been led into battle because Izzy has been very overprotective of her. While everybody else is occupied, Fern takes the morpher that is meant to be for Ollie and eventually end up becoming the Orange Ranger. Tarek's spy is revealed to be Heckle from Dino Charge, and he does morph into the Dark Ranger. In episode 7, the Rangers return to Earth. They learn that they only have to take down one squid drill, but the anti-Zord shields prevent them from doing it. Meanwhile, Zato actually finally tells Ion Solo what's going on with him. Basically from what the tree has said earlier in episode 4. The Morphin Masters basically revived him by magic. He only has a certain amount of magic that the Morphin Masters had gave him when they revived him, which keep causing him to pass out and every time he used the magic. Pop has borrowed some tech for Grid of Battle for it, which they used to teleport a Squidrill into the prison. And we also find out they took his Squillia for basically interrogation. In episode 8, we basically learned that Squillia basically has no details for the Rangers to learn. After Tarek and Amelia basically mind read using the mind read powers, they learn nothing. Back on Eltar, we see Bajilia basically getting upset, basically saying that she has to go rescue her daughter no matter what. Meanwhile, the Rangers come up with a plan to save Ollie, by using the return of Slider and Mucus, returning Dino Fury villain. The Rangers destroys Squillia, and Slider basically disguised himself as Squillia while Mucus pretends to be her lawyer. They sneak onto the Squidrill and destroy the Cheshire statue. The plan looked like it doesn't work. In episode 9, Lord Zed basically sends the Rangers a live feed and letting the Rangers know that their plan failed and Ollie's still evil, and that they also captured Slider and Mucus. But unfortunately for Lord Zed, it did work. Ollie basically blasted Lord Zed and everybody else, and basically let the Rangers know what Lord
I have
Zed
the best idea ever.
that Lord Zed is
That is the worst idea ever.
The Rangers
You
went
brought
to go
two
rescue
villains into our
Ollie,
secret hideout?
Slider,
And you want them to
Mucus,
work
but
for
they
us?
later
Dude,
found
you
out
ate
that
too
it was
much
a
fucking
trap by Bajilia, and yes, Bajilia is alive. Bajilia basically set the room to explode, and they cannot teleport out. Teleportation is down. Zato uses the last of his magic to put a force field around everybody, and basically that uses up his last of his life force. So yeah, Zato just died, and Ion did not let go of him, so his soul got sucked into the morphing grid, causing his body to pass out. The remaining Rangers confront Zed, who has basically officially sucked up all of the Morphin Master power and became a Morphin Master himself. But Delia teleports in and basically betrays Lord Zed as a part of her main plan. Bringing back Squazzle and using this Master Captivator that they use to capture all the Morphin Masters in, they capture Lord Zed in. With all the energy that's in the Master Captivator now, she planned on using basically the reverse Z-Wave of wiping out all the good in the universe. And now in episode 10, the end, Mucus and Slider rescue the Rangers, and meanwhile in the White Void, Ion and Zato reconnect, or what he thinks is Zato. That Zato says a familiar line, may the power protect you. The Rangers manage to escape Ultra thanks to Mucus and Slider. But while they're leaving, Squidrills come and try to stop them. But we see Billy in the Dino Megazord. We find out that Billy brought some help from other different seasons. So we see the Blaze Megazord from Ninja Steel. We see the Astro Megazord from In Space. We see the Galaxy Megazord from Lost Galaxy. We also see the Beast X Megazord from Beast Whisperer. And that was really a good surprise because I was not expecting that. But the CGI is not that great, but it's cool to see them again, though. Meanwhile, back at the base, we see that the container that's holding Lord Zed and all the Morphin Masters is starting to crack. Basically means that it's going to unleash the Lord Zed wave. But then they decide to take the two back to the altar on planet Zordia, so they could really hit with the Morphiger and chuck the thing in there. Then we see Zato appear out of nowhere as a Morphine Master. So he teleports him and the Rangers inside the tube, where we see Lord Zed, who at first basically refuses to give out his powers and basically be pro for the Z-Wave. We see the Rangers basically explain to him that you're going to be gone too. Ollie basically uses Lord Zed's needs for survival to end up convincing him. That's basically a means to extract all the Morphin Master energy out of his body. So after that, he basically agrees to it, and Zato ends up doing it. And then we see a scene there, the Rangers on the ground defeated, and we see Lord Zed basically with his wife. We basically see the Rangers watching all of this, which is revealed to be an illusion. The same place that they used back in Dino Fury Season 1, Episode 20. It is cool to see this Nightmare plan be used again, though. So back at the base, we basically see all the Morphin Masters. And the Morphin Masters basically say that they have a lot of rethinking to do, after they basically not wanting to help from last season. And then we see that Master Green basically mentions the prophecy from last season, which I think is much better handled here, if I'm being honest. Then we get a nice goodbye moment with Zaya leaving and becoming one of them. Later on, we basically see Javi basically throws a concert. Ion basically brings up the line that not Zato basically said to him in the void, basically, and letting Billy know, may the power protect you. And Billy instantly recognizes this as Zordon. Then we see Amelia finds out that Satori has gave birth, and we see a picture of her and Tarek and a baby sister, and they decided to name it after the person that saved Amelia. Then we see all the cast basically run on stage and basically give a whole basically group hug. And then we cut to Zato basically watching them, and basically we get the last line from him. So that is basically the end of Cosmic Fury, for the plot at least. Now let's go ahead and talk about the characters. So I am going to go ahead and talk about Zato first. Zato is definitely my least favorite character in this season. He doesn't really do that much. He basically spend most of his time passing out. Yes, he uses magic, but then he passes out right after. He's barely in most of the episodes. It's just kind of crazy how he basically took a major backseat in this season. Yes, I think making him a Morphin master is a good idea. I just think it was very poorly executed with him basically being so unreal. Well, no,
Cool, cool, cool.
basically him with not being there most of the time. I feel like that could have just been handled better, and then people wouldn't kind of have a problem with it like they do now. I just basically wish we saw him more in this season. I think that would just made him much better if they would have executed the Morphin Master thing better. Because overall, I think that was a good idea. I just think the execution was very poor. Next up is Amelia. Amelia did a really good job, honestly, as Red Ranger. She stepped up in the first 3 episodes, which caused her to get promoted to Red. So she did earn her promotion, and I really did enjoy how she stepped up. Um, she did a really good job leading the team. Basically her motivation or goal was basically to free Ollie, and I really like that idea. That's basically the reason she kind of took this step up because she really wants to get that goal done. So I think that's a pretty cool motivation for her. Motivation was just basically to cure Ollie. I really liked her in the moment. One of her standout moments for me was basically back in episode 3. The moment with her and Ion, I thought that was really good. Basically, using her own frustration, losing Ollie, and basically use that to connect with Ion with him losing Zato. Let's go ahead and move on to my favorite character in this season, Ollie. I really love Ollie in this season. He became evil again, but they did more with it, honestly. I feel like he did a really good job at being evil. And not to mention his evil ranger suit is really badass. I really love that suit.
Late the morphing grid. You know it'll be so.
I need a figure of that suit. That suit looks so good compared to all the other Cosmic Fury suits. It made me kind of wish that he just kept that suit, honestly, for the whole season. But for last, he did not. But honestly, I really liked that suit. That suit was so good. But his character was, I think, really well done. But the only thing I say that holds Ollie back is basically he was kind of surrounded by a lot of silly people that just did not know what they were doing. He was basically surrounded by a bunch of idiots. And something else I wish that Ollie did, it was be more like that he outsmart the Rangers a little bit more. Because Ollie is intelligent. I think he would outsmart the Rangers a little bit more. But something else I do wish is I wish he would have had more of a redemption arc. But I get it. It's only 10 episodes, so for what they did, I really loved him. He was really well handled, and his character basically did evolve from Dino Fury. Moving on, let's go ahead and talk about Izzy. Izzy, she took a back seat this season. Basically, her old character was basically being really overprotective of Fern, and it kind of got annoying at some point. But she eventually snapped out of it in episode 6 and basically act normal after that. Well, after she became a ranger, obviously. But yeah, she really didn't have much to do. But I mean, I wish she would have got more to do or something else instead of her relying on Fern just trying to protect her. But yeah, that's basically all I already had to say about Izzy. Moving on to Javi. I really like Javi. Javi was a pretty good character in this season. I think he was better here than he was in Dino Fury. I think him losing his arm and then gaining his bionic arm and him trying to get used to that and him basically going through the struggle throughout the season to basically control his bionic arm and getting used to it. I think it was a pretty cool arc for him. I wish he would have got more, but I really do like what he got in Cosmic Fury. I think he's better here than he was in Dino Fury. Let's go ahead and move on to Ion. Ion basically his whole character was basically being concerned about Zeta. He spent basically most of the season basically simping for him. And that's basically all he does. He basically doesn't really do much in this season. He doesn't get much exactly to do. Granted, he's not as bad as he was in season one, or annoying as he was in season one, but he's a little bit annoying here, but not as much as he was in season one. So I guess this is a little bit of improvement, but again, he doesn't really do much instead of just basically being there for Zato. I get that he lost his best friend once and now he's going to lose him again, and he'd be a concern for that. He doesn't really go anywhere with it at the same time, so yeah, that's basically all I have to say about Io. Last but least, let's go ahead and talk about Fern, the newest addition to the main cast. She was okay. She didn't really get much to do either, but I really like her personality. She has like a fun, bubbly personality. She's so enthusiastic. She was just really cool to. She was just really enjoyable to watch on screen. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about her. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about Billy. He was a good mentor. He was there for most of the season. It's cool to see him be part of the main cast again. He wasn't here since Theo, so it's cool to have him back on the show, especially for the 30th season. He did a lot for the Cosmic Creators. He has some nice moments with Javi, especially. And also, he created the Cosmic powers. So that's actually really cool. And Solon was great too. She has some great moments in the show as well. Now, moving on to the villain side of things, starting off with Lord Zed. Lord Zed, I feel like this is a different Lord Zed that we got from Dino Fury, because I feel like we got two different Lord Zeds here, because this Lord Zed basically kind of took a step back and didn't really do much this season. He destroyed the Dino Head statue to turn all evil again, but that's basically all he kind of does. And then he destroys the Cosmic Creators, at the end. And then basically he gets tricked by Bajilia. So, not really a strong outing for Zed this season, in my opinion. But I do like the Master Zetsu. I think that looks really cool. I really like his helmet. I just really like the design in general. I think it was a really cool design, honestly. Moving on to Bajilia. Bajilia, I don't really like her. I just never liked her from the beginning. She just didn't really do much. All she did was just talk about money and stuff. I mean, I didn't really find her interesting at all. And then to find out later on that she basically had this whole plan to trick Lord Zed and basically use him and manipulate him up to the point. It's just really crazy to see that she basically kind of became like the main villain, quote unquote. Um, Honestly, wasn't really a fan of Agility, honestly. Next up is Squilia. She's basically the influencer vlogger type of character. She was just kind of annoying for the most part throughout the season. She didn't really exactly do much. She dated Hecko, or for like a trap, but I mean, there's not much really to say about her. She didn't really do much, but basically be an influencer type of character. I mean, I just didn't care for her. And that's really it for all I have to say about the villains. So let's go ahead. Next, I'm going to talk about the Morph. I really like the Morph,
Sure about that?
the
It's
morphing
morphin'
process.
time! Cosmic Morph! Link to Morphin Grid!
I think it was a pretty cool idea where they just had the orb and they put it on their finger and then they flick it into the morpher. I think that was a pretty cool idea. It just looks pretty cool. And like I said earlier, I think the morpher sequence is okay. I mean, I like some parts of it, and I don't like some parts of it, but overall, it's alright. Now, personally, I don't care for the suits. The suits, there's much to be desired, but overall, I still think it was a solid job. I think they did a really good job with some of the fight scenes. Some of the fight scenes actually look pretty cool. I really like most of their weapons. Their weapons are actually kind of really cool. Some of my favorite, I really like Amelia's hammer. I also like Ollie's blaster, Tricera blaster. And I also like Javi's axe. I think those look the coolest out of the bunch, maybe for me. But we also do find out that the Ramparts can combine that they first used in episode 9. And I really like their Cosmic Blaster. I think it looks pretty cool, honestly. So overall, basically, we see this show basically moved at a very fast pace for the most part. Um, there's plotting every single episode. It's cool to see like a consecutive story go on, even in some filler episodes, like in episode 5 with the Rock Out, when the band episode. The fact that there's still something going on for the plot that support it is pretty cool. Just because there's a filler episode doesn't mean there's not any plot going on in that episode as well. I kind of actually like the idea that it doesn't matter what color ranger, any ranger can pilot any Zord. I think that's actually pretty cool as well. And so that basically means that the cosmic Zords doesn't really matter. They just form a completely different versions of Kirino. I think some of the Megazord fights could be a little bit forced, but I didn't mind seeing them again. I really like the Key Ranger Megazord suits design, so I'm glad to see them. But overall, I think the Megazord fights for the most part were pretty well handled, and I really like the idea that anybody can control any Zord that they want. I almost forgot to talk about the side characters. The side characters in the season were actually really good. I really like seeing most of the characters come back, and I like how they only came in when they're relevant and basically kept the main focus on the Rangers. I thought that was pretty cool. I think my favorite side character that came back was Lonnie because I just really liked her from Dino Fury, and I think she has some amazing moments and some amazing lines and scenes with some other Rangers in this season. It was also cool to see General Shaw and also Izzy's and Javi's cousin, Lily, that was being free for the prison. Overall, Cosmic Fury was a really fun ride. I think this season was very solid. It has a lot of great moments. It has a lot of great character moments as well, and it's really cool to finally see the end of these Dino Fury characters over the course of the 3 seasons. So it's
How can
actually
you be
really
so
cool to see
chill
where
right
they end
now?
up
You
on.
might
So if
never
you
get
guys
Ollie
like
back.
Dino Fury, you're
I am
definitely most likely
terrified.
will like Cosmic Fury. I think most
Putting
of
out
the
that vibe
locations
doesn't
actually
help.
pretty cool too to see.
Instead,
I feel
I'm
like Cosmic
focusing
Fury's
my
weakest
energy on the
part is
facts.
the villains. And the
We're
fact
not out
that
of options
Zato
just yet,
doesn't
and what
really do
exactly do we...
much. I feel like those two are the weakest parts of this season. But then
It's morphin' time!
Dino Fury Key! Activate! Link to Morphin Grid!
again,
Triceratops!
I don't think they're like mind blowingly bad to the point where this season's unwatchable. This season is very watchable. I love this season. It's very enjoyable. But those are just some. Despite those problems, I still recommend Constant Free. It was just a really fun ride and a really strong story with some strong group of characters. So if I had to rate Constant Free out of 10, I would give a solid 8 out of 10. If you have not seen Power Rangers Constant Free already, I recommend you go check it out. Having all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on Cosmic Fury. What would you rate it out of 10? Let me know everything all your thoughts on in the comments. Having all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys next time.